This is Joe narrating a PowerPoint. This is Lesson 2 in Civics and Government on page 446 of the Kaplan book, talking about constitutional government. After the United States won the Revolutionary War in 1783, they decided to set up a new constitution in 1787. And met in Philadelphia to draw up this constitution. The constitution is basically the rule book for how this government is going to run. So they decided to have a democratic republic. So on the left in this slide, you see a direct democracy where people vote for approval or disapproval of a law, and if the majority of the people approve the law becomes in effect. On the right, we see the form of government we have where the people vote for representatives. These representatives then vote on laws, and then the laws become effective if the majority of representatives approve the law. So it's a representative democracy. This one sentence is the first sentence of the Constitution. We call that the preamble of the Constitution. It just basically says why the people who wrote the Constitution are writing it. And it starts off with the famous words, "We the people." The Constitution itself, after the preamble, was divided up into 7 sections. We call these sections articles. Article 1 dealt with the legislative branch. The Constitution was pertaining to the federal branch or the national government, and this legislative branch of the national government was divided up into the House of Representatives and the Senate. Article 1 set the rules for the qualifications for people who were going to be in the House of Representatives or the Senate, the powers of these branches of the government. Article 2 dealt with the executive branch or the presidency. Article 3 dealt with the judicial branch. Article 4 dealt with the powers of the states as opposed to the national government. Article 5 spelled out how amendments or changes to the Constitution were to be made. Article 6 dealt with the supremacy of the national Constitution, that state laws, city laws cannot take effect if they go against the national Constitution. In other words, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Article 7 dealt with how the Constitution originally written would be ratified or approved by the 13 colonies or states. They required that 9 states approve the Constitution for it to take effect for all the states. So within each of these articles there are clauses that make up subsections that spell out specific items. The Constitution was written and done with and approved in 1789, but there have been changes to the Constitution over the last 220 years or so. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution were written up and ratified immediately as the new government took effect. This is called the Bill of Rights. It basically gave individual rights to the people within the country, and this was a condition of some states allowing the Constitution to take effect, is that there had to be a Bill of Rights drawn up first thing by this new government to ensure individual liberties and rights. There are 26 amendments as of 1771. There's one more. The 27th Amendment was the most recent amendment, and that was ratified in 1992. And it basically says that the senators and representatives in the national government cannot vote themselves a raise. So basically, any raise that they approve cannot take effect till there is a new group of people in the House of Representatives or in the Senate. It's interesting that this particular amendment was in the exact same wording in the original Bill of Rights. So the Bill of Rights was originally drafted as 12 amendments, only 10 of them were approved. This particular amendment was only approved by a few states, and in 1992, a college student discovered that this amendment was still floating around out there and there was no time limit on approval, so he drove a national campaign to get this amendment approved, and in 1992 it was approved by the required 3/4 of the states. So that's it for Lesson 2 in Civics and Government on page 446 of the Kaplan book.